Welcome to Violin Adventures number 165. We start right off with the antique decorated violin. Okay, it's time to get these clamps off and shape the bass bar. Okay, we now have our bass bar shaped, and this violin has never seen such a good bass bar. It definitely has given this some power in the tone. You can just feel that there's a fullness there now. So that is awesome. Now, as far as I know, there are no cracks in the top. We don't need to be worried about cleaning anything. When I tap it, oh, listen to that tone. It's just a really deep, nice tone. I don't hear any buzzing. So we're going to set this aside. I'm going to clean up my mess, and then we're going to look on the back here because it has no corner blocks. I'm going to put them in because I believe corner blocks are very helpful to the tone. So we'll do that next. Okay, so like I said, we're going to change this old German into an Italian, just like that. Before we get the corner blocks in, and since we're going to have a new fingerboard anyway, I'm going to take this fingerboard off, get it out of the way. The fingerboard that is on here is it's painted black, okay? So we don't know what kind of wood is under here. So let's get it off and upgrade this fingerboard too. This was a pine fingerboard. Can you believe that? So it must not have been played much. Okay, now on to the corner blocks. We're going to get this naughty violin back to doing right. What I'm doing right now is clearing out the lining so that we have a nice fit for the blocks. Okay, we're going to get some corner blocks in this violin. Did a dry setup just to make sure everything is going to work out nice. And now we'll glue it up. So I initially just brushed out the inside of this violin because I didn't want to disturb that signature. But now as I wipe away the glue, it looks like I can wipe away some of that darkness. I'm getting a lot of dark coloring out, and maybe the signature will come out even better. Okay, this is the best of what I can make out on the signature inside the violin. If anyone can read that, it would be awesome. Of course, I don't know if it goes this way or this way. Also, right here, I couldn't make out what was in that little section. So, any help would be greatly appreciated. Now, the fact that the signature is over to the right where you wouldn't be able to see it through the sound hole makes me think that he just made the back. Of course, I don't know for sure, but he put it where it wouldn't be seen by his boss. Okay, this is our decorated antique violin, and you saw the signature on the inside. What I'm going to do is seal the inside of this violin and then set it aside. The owner of this violin is ordering a special fingerboard that will go a little bit better with this violin, and it's not going to come in for about a month. So we're going to finish this up and set it aside until that fingerboard comes in. I'm going to set this in a safe place. Next, we're going to the cello and get going here on the edges. And I have to cut the edges all the way around. It's those final touches that take time, but really help the instrument look very nice. So I just cut this one. And now let's go to this one. I'm going to cut off the sharp corner here. And then this way. I don't know if you can see it on the camera, but we just have a build-up here where it comes to the edge and then goes around. Let's try this again. I'm going to hold the camera and try cutting. Just putting in these final touches, and of course we will sand this down, but getting the initial cuts first. Okay, I've gone around the edges with a knife. Now we got to go around with a file. Okay. Been working on these edges, getting them all rounded. It's all done now. So here we go. This is the back. And then here's the front. So we are ready to start installing the neck, okay? This is another one that takes a lot of time, because we have 5 dimensions that we got to bring together, and they all have to meet right at the exact point. So we'll work on that tomorrow, Lord willing. I'm really grateful I have a vise that will hold this cello neck so that I can shape it. The problem I'm having right now is the bottom of this heel is not flat. And we've got a dip right in the middle, so I'm needing to work on both pins. Okay, I've been working on fitting this neck and it's almost ready. We have the distance here, the height here. We have the distance from the upper nut to the edge, and we have it centered. We have the height this way, up and down, and also the only one that's off right now is the distance where your thumb sits to the edge of the instrument. So we need to take this down, otherwise we're almost ready. Now we're working on the Klotz copy violin. This is a Klotz copy, and we're just going to do a simple setup, which involved fingerboard resurfacing, bridge, sound post, pegs, and strings. Okay, we're going to resurface this fingerboard. I just scraped it, and now we're going to sand it down really fine. Okay, we're working on the Klotz copy violin, and we were just going to do a simple setup. But as I was getting the pegs in and getting ready to set this up, I noticed that there is a crack right down here on the middle seam, which is not a good place to have a crack. So there's two ways we can repair that: pump in glue or open up the top and glue it and cleat it, which is the best way. And that's what our customer wants. They want the best for this violin. So we're going to take the top off. Okay, here we are inside the violin, and we always find a sound post and a little dust ball. So that's a normal inside of a violin. And right here is the crack that we need to glue and then cleat. We need to let that dry. And back to the cello. We finally got this neck ready to install. So here it goes. We've got our nice hot hide glue, and we're gonna get this glued on here. Okay, it's glued on here. I believe it's down the middle. I did a lot of measurements. Sometimes when you get the glue in there, the wood swells and the glue gets in the way and your measurements get off. So it's back down the center. And this we're probably going to leave to dry over the weekend. I want this really good and strong before we set it up. And we're going to have to do an upper nut, a lower nut, the bridge, and the sound post. And I haven't even resurfaced this fingerboard yet. So we haven't drilled the holes for the pegs. So there's still quite a bit of work left, but at least we've got all the hard stuff done. Here it is, Friday afternoon. It's very cold. We're in the 30s and we have a few little flurries here and there. Let's go inside where it's warm. Here we are in the shop, nice and warm. Over here we've got some repairs that just came in. Here's the cello. The neck is on. And we've got a lot more work to do, but at least the neck is on. The purfling is done. The edges are nice and rounded. Over here is the Klotz copy. We're closing this crack here, and then we can close this up and get it set up. Just today, some lovely friends came in and they brought a couple old violins that need repair too. So we're gonna save that. And in this case is our decorated antique. And we're waiting for a fingerboard. Freddie wants to chat.
Hi, I'm Freddie. Yeah, that's my name, Freddie. And I have a lot of information to share with everyone this time. So, the first one is from Mr. Timothy Winters, and he's a workshop expert. He's like a doctor because he will go into a shop and get it all arranged and make it look really good. And so he has a special tip for your workshop. Here it is.
Mr. Winters says, save your empty metal cans of any size. Lay the can flat and cut out one side with tin snips or a nibber. Bend down the edges into the can with pliers. Careful, it's sharp. Now you have a storage can with a handy handle. Mark the contents of the can with a Sharpie or a paint pen. Also, he shout out to Cosmic for the beautiful plain hammer. Thank you, Tim, for sending in this tip.
Wow, I think I need to do that in my shop, too. Next, we had a visitor came by to see the shop, and he was all the way from Texas. Here he is.
Wonderful surprise. We have Dr. A here from Texas.
Yes, ma'am.
And he's bringing some instruments to be set up.
Yes.
Can you tell us about your program?
Sure. So my name is Dr. Altamirano. I am an orchestra mariachi teacher in the El Paso area. Basically what we do, a group of colleagues and myself, we'll gather instruments from different areas like pawn shops, Goodwills, wherever we can find them. If they're good instruments and we see that there's potential in fixing them, then we'll fix them up, and what we'll do is we'll give them away to a deserving kid, specifically a junior or senior who's continuing on to their music education career and cannot afford an instrument themselves.
Yeah, that was nice. And next, it's kind of sad news because my grandpa went out to check on his bees and they were all gone.
Well, this was a huge surprise. Our very best beehive that was loaded with bees before we wrapped it for the winter, it was empty. All the bees were gone. This was a big surprise.
Well, I don't know why that's happening. Well, thank you for sharing all your wonderful videos and pictures. And don't forget to send me some more. Bye!
The Hebrew Minute. Lanu Katson, Ti'inu Aish, Ladarku Paninu, Vahashem Hifgia Bo et Avon Kalanu. All we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned each one to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity or guilt of us all. If you know where this is found, please leave it in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your wonderful comments, for your thumbs up. Thank you to the new subscribers, and thank you to all of you who are coming by to visit. And until next time, bye.